Morning, everybody. This is Gus Rickard, broadcasting live from Edalong. I'm taking a walk with Lola, who's down there sniffing seaweed, eating seaweed, chasing waves, chasing ducks. She's having a ball. But I'm here from the water, talking about water. And this is the second episode of my 7 habits of healthy people. And this is habit number 6. I'm going back from 7. The 7th one last Monday was eating whole fresh foods. And today I'm talking about drinking water and drinking enough water and drinking enough quality water. And this is one of the first things, it's probably the first thing I do with every client I see, no matter what their challenge, whether it's a biochemical health challenge or chronic pain or whatever it is. I always check in that people are drinking enough water, because every biochemical reaction in our body takes place within water, and it's incredibly important that we have enough. It's needed for every biochemical reaction in our body, and we tend to not get enough of it, or we get the wrong type of water. So I'm going to talk about a few things. One is the purity of water. 2 is the energy of water, the minerals in it, and the pH that comes from the minerals. So people often will say, I drink enough water, or I don't really like drinking water. And usually those people will also say that they drink tap water. And we'll use the argument that we're lucky in Sydney, and I agree here, we are lucky in Sydney that we can drink the tap water and we don't get sick. It's not swimming with microorganisms that are going to give us diseases like will happen in a lot of the third world. But the water, it's free of microorganisms because it's full of chlorine, because they pump it full of so much chlorine to kill everything, and the chlorine becomes a problem. Chlorine kills bacteria, and we need bacteria. Our microbiome, which is the 2 kilograms of bacteria that live in our gut, which are incredibly important for just about every system in our body. Lola, come on. Chlorine kills the microbiome, and it's also really hard for our bodies to detoxify. It puts a massive load on the liver. So first thing is, you don't want to drink tap water. You want to filter it if you're going to be drinking tap water. I'll get to what you do want to be doing in a bit. The other problem with tap water is in order for water to pass into our cells, to get into the intracellular space, the molecules need to be quite small. When we find water in nature, in rainwater or in creeks and streams or in springs, you have little molecules of 4 or 6 or 8 H2O. So I don't think you'll ever find single H2O molecules in nature. They're usually in little clumps. When water gets forced through pipes at right angles and whatnot, it gets clumped into bigger clumps of like 20 or 25 H2O. So you have much bigger molecules, and those molecules don't pass through our cells as easily as do the smaller molecules. So when you're drinking tap water, even if it's been filtered, it won't hydrate as well as natural water that's never been forced through pipes at high pressure or at steep angles and whatnot. Hi, Annette. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Tom. Welcome, guys. Just talking about water. So there are ways to energize water, which is to get it to move in such a way that those molecules get unbound again. But there's still better ways to drink water, and I'll talk about that too. Where's my dog gone? Lola. So we don't want to drink tap water because of chlorine and other heavy metals and whatnot, and God knows what else is in there, because it's in these big molecules that don't enter our cells correctly, and we probably don't drink enough anyway. So the ideal amount of water to be drinking, and obviously it's just a rough place to start, is 1 litre per 30 kilos of body weight. If you're drinking tap water that is full of chlorine and other heavy metals and is in these big 20 or 25 H2O molecules, it's very hard to digest, and your body will resist it. You know, I've tried drinking tap water, it just doesn't go down very well. When I get spring water, which I collect from a spring in the Blue Mountains, which is, you know, it's only ever touched rock and earth and glass, because I collect it in glass jars, it goes down so quickly and so easily. Your body just sucks it up. And when I give this to people that say they don't like drinking water, they drink it like that, it goes down really quickly, and they always say, wow, that's like totally different. Has a really thin mouth feel, like Gatorade or something like that, that's got all the electrolytes in it. You know, if you have one of those sports drinks, they have a very nice mouth feel. So what did I mention? 4 things. Okay, so the other problem with tap water is there's no minerals in it. It's devoid of minerals like potassium and sodium and magnesium, all those electrolytes that make it easy to digest. They will also bring up the pH and make the water more easier to absorb. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by losing my dog. So we want to drink water that's pure, that doesn't have heavy metals, chlorine, fluoride, and crap like that in it. We want to drink water that is structured correctly, which means it hasn't been forced through pipes at right angles or under high pressure that's going to bunch the molecules together and make it harder to absorb into the cell. Remember that within your cells, there is the mitochondria, for example, which is where energy is produced, and the chemical reactions that happen within the mitochondria are dependent on water. So if the water isn't in the cell, it's going to be much harder for those reactions to happen. That's one symptom. It's the first symptom I always notice of dehydration, is that I get tired and kind of foggy. I'm not producing energy quickly enough. So how do you get around that? What water do you drink? The best option is to get spring water. If you can get to a spring where the water has been rained and then filtered through rock and earth and then collected by hand, it's going to be the best water you can get. There are springs around. I'd always make sure that they've been tested first, because a lot of the time the water table has been polluted and the spring water isn't clean. But if you can get a clean spring, and if you private message me, I can tell you how to find them. Well, actually, no. You can just go. There's a website, findaspring.com. You can go and find it yourself. The next best option is to get a really good water filter, and the best one that I know of is a Kangen filter. Kangen water filters, it restructures the water, so it breaks the molecules down. It helps them to be smaller and easier to digest. It mineralizes and alkalizes the water as well. In fact, with the Kangen filter, you can adjust the pH to make it more acidic for like washing veggies and stuff like that, or washing your skin, or to make it more alkaline. Lola's just enjoying the water there. So you can make it more alkaline to make it easier to digest and better for your gut. You can choose what you want. So Kangen filters are the best filter that I know of. They are pretty expensive though, but definitely worth the investment. The next best option would be to get either a reverse osmosis filter or a dual stage carbon ceramic filter, which you can get for about $300, and they just go on your countertop and they attach to your tap, and they'll filter out the chlorine and heavy metals and any microorganisms and fluoride. So that's the other thing I didn't mention. How could I forget fluoride in tap water? Fluoride is something that people will defend till the cows come home. It's meant to make our teeth stronger. From what I understand, it's not actually even the right type of fluoride to make your teeth stronger if it was. It's sodium fluoride in the water, which is often used in rat poisons and stuff like that, or it used to be. And from a couple of dentists that I've spoken to regarding fluoride, they said it does tend to harden the enamel of your teeth. But what they find is then you have these, what looks like a small cavity, and when they drill in there, the body of the tooth is still rotten, and the hard enamel has simply hidden the state of the cavity. From the guys I've spoken to, the fluoride in tap water is not a good thing for your teeth. But it's also just an unneeded toxin that your body has to filter. And apparently it calcifies your pineal gland as well, which is connected with our intuition and connection to the field of all knowing. And so a lot of the cheaper filters won't filter fluoride, whereas if you get the 2-stage carbon ceramic filters or a reverse osmosis filter, you'll get rid of fluoride as well. The problem with the reverse osmosis water is that it gets rid of all the minerals, so you're left with a very bland water and you need to re-mineralize it. And also, neither of those filters will restructure the water. You can get a really simple device which just attaches 2 glass bottles together. So if you picture like an hourglass full of sand, only you've got 2 glass bottles full of water, and when you tip it upside down, the water spirals into the other bottle, and that spiraling action restructures the water. It gets rid of the big clumps of 20H2O and makes them into little smaller, easier to digest molecules. You can also get a restructuring device that's like a type of magnet that goes on your tap and restructures it as it comes out of the tap. So that's another option, is to reverse osmosis, filter it, restructure it, and add a little bit of Celtic sea salt or some trace minerals or something like that. You can also get some bottles that have they're a glass bottle with a particular shape, so that as you carry the water and move, and even as you fill it up, the water is moved in a particular way that allows restructuring as well. The next option down the ladder, I'd say, would be to buy bottled water, and there are really good bottled waters out there. Things like Evian or the Snowy Mountain spring water is really good, but they're in plastic. So when you get water that's been stored in plastic, no matter how good it is, even if it's BPA-free plastic, there are still things leaching into the water. So bottled water is an option, but glass bottles are going to be better. Most of the water we get is in plastic. Problem with a lot of the Australian spring water, like Mount Franklin and stuff like that, is that it's not really, it doesn't have the mineral content you need. It's pretty bland. And then the next option would be drinking tap water from Sydney. The final option, the worst option, well, actually, no, I'd say the next worst would be drinking the water out of a tap in a third world country. And then the last option is probably just drinking water from stormwater. So, and then we'll get to maybe the ocean, and sewerage would be down the bottom. So I'd say tap water is right down the bottom of your options as far as healthy drinking water goes. If you don't believe me, just try it. Go get some spring water. Get a Kangen filter. See how much easier it is for your body to drink that water, and how much more your body actually wants to drink water when you're drinking those good quality waters. Thanks, Glenn. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, I'll put a little I'll find the website for those bottles I was talking about and put them down the bottom here. I'll put them in the comments section. Those bottles don't actually filter the water. But you'd filter it yourself. They just restructure it and energize it. I'll put that in the comments thing. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Glenn. Hope this has been good, guys. If anyone has any questions, shoot them through now. Otherwise, I'm going to go and control Lola. put it on the leash or something. If not, thanks guys. See you soon.